what's changed in the last 20 years and what has been dramatically expedited as we see the closing down of bookstores almost completely is that specific books now sell 10 to 1 what generic books sell. The impact you can make as a new author by solving a small and specific problem is 10 times the impact you can make by solving a big generic problem. This is Page Up with Dr. Angela Lauria, helping you write a nonfiction book that gets clients, drives revenue, and builds credibility. Learn more at pageuppodcast.com. Welcome to Season 2 of Page Up Podcast. I am so excited you're here. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Lauria, and I am the founder of the Author Incubator and creator of the difference process for writing a book that matters. Over the last 7 years, I've helped over 1,000 people get their books written, published, promoted, and out there in the world making a difference. And on this season, I'm going to be sharing with you what's working now in the world of books. Almost every industry has seen dramatic changes in 2020, and publishing is no different. So I thought it was the perfect time to bring back the Page Up podcast. It's been a while, but in this season, we're going to dig into specifically what is working now, how nonfiction authors are growing their businesses with a book, how you can use a book to find people who need your help right now, and how you can use a book to raise your credibility, build a thought leadership platform, and prepare to dig into a new period in marketing history, a period of time where solving problems is more important than ever, and communicating your message, your relevancy, and your ability to make an impact for people is what's going to determine the difference between you and one of your competitors getting the business. So on this podcast in Season 2, we're going to dig into how business owners can use a book in 2020 to grow their business and protect their revenue and the clients they have. In today's episode, I specifically want to look at the mistakes that I'm seeing people make out there. So many people have decided now is the time to write a book, but they're falling prey to some common mistakes authors make. And it's more important than ever that you don't waste your time or resources writing the wrong book. So when we come back, I'm going to dig into the 6 mistakes that business owners make when they're trying to write a book to grow their business. Stay tuned. I'm excited to share these mistakes with you. You won't want to miss them. Are you ready to dig into the 6 mistakes that first-time business owners make when they're writing a book? I want to start with mistake number 1, and this is the biggest mistake that I see. So many business owners that want to write a book are thinking about what knowledge they have, what they want to share, what they're most interested in, what they think people need to know. And they'll maybe go for a walk, go for a drive, get a bunch of ideas. They even can't wait to share it with anyone. And often the person that they share it with is moi. More than ever in the last couple months, I have been brain dumped on by people who want to share their book ideas. And so often these ideas have one thing in common, and it is an Achilles heel that will kill your book project in its tracks. And that is that the idea is about what you want to share and not about what people are looking for or what people are hungry for. One of the things we spend the most time with our clients here at the Author Incubator is identifying the intersection between the current market, what's happening in the market now, and your mission or your message. Most people on their own writing a book are focused on what they want to share, their message, the movement they care about, what they're most interested in. And they're not as focused on what the market is hungry for right now. There is a cross-section, but it's up to you to identify that cross-section before you start even thinking about getting specific about your book. One of the things that's hard about this mistake is what you can get most easily excited about is the book you want to write. But will there be anyone to read it? Now, the most powerful book in the world, the best written book, the book that has the most important message, that book cannot make a difference if it doesn't get into people's hands and into their hearts and change their lives or businesses. So no matter how good your message is and how excited you are about it, we want to start first by understanding the marketplace and where we can weasel your message in there. If you're making this mistake, check yourself before you wreck yourself. This one is a deal killer. Mistake number 2 also has to do with mindset. And this one is a mistake that I see over and over again, especially in women. So ladies, are you listening? Guys don't do this as much, and I'm not sure why, but so often I will meet a woman who is so excited about her book that the first thing she does is asks everyone else what they think about it. Oh my God, these people are not book experts. Your job as the leader of your movement, your job as the author of your forthcoming book is to own your message. And when you go out there and randomly survey people and actually care about their opinion, you will get thrown off. Let me spoil the surprise here. You will not please everyone. Your goal is to only please the people who your book is written for. So don't ask the wrong people for their advice on your book. People not to ask: your old college roommate, your mother, your friends from your life coach training program. The people to ask are people who are those that you want to serve. And the way that you ask your prospects is by simply asking them before you even write your book to buy it. Yep, I know it's crazy, but the best way to find out if you have a good idea is to actually offer it and see who takes it. Come up with a book topic that you want to write on. Offer a free training. It could be a free Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live. It could be a free webinar. It could be a free class. Offer something free by the name that you want to give your book. If you can't get anybody to sign up for your free thing, it's going to be hard to sell a book. So remember, even the juiciest peach will not be delicious to someone who does not like peaches. You are not everybody's fruit. So don't ask for the wrong people for advice. When we come back from this short break, I'm going to tell you the next 2 biggest mistakes authors make, and these have to do with the writing process. So if you're already ready to start writing your book, make sure you come back for these mistakes because you won't want to make them. Welcome back. I got a couple more mistakes to share with you, so I hope you are ready for these. These are the mistakes that people most commonly make in the writing phase. Maybe you're still thinking about writing a book, and if that's true, then these mistakes are good to catch now. And if you are already writing, Fix these before it's too late because they will catch up with you. Mistake number 3 is that authors who want to write a book very often think broadly. And I'm going to date myself here, and I'm probably going to date you too. But the reason we make this mistake is if you are over 40, particularly, you grew up in a market before the internet, where there was a limited amount of shelf space. Because in a bookstore, most bookstores would hold maybe 250,000 books. There was a limited number of books. And so the books we grew up reading were very generic. They were very broad topic books. That's because we didn't have the internet. What's changed in the last 20 years and what has been dramatically expedited as we see the closing down of bookstores almost completely is that specific books now sell 10 to 1 what generic books sell. The impact you can make as a new author by solving a small and specific problem is 10 times the impact you can make by solving a big generic problem. I'm going to give you a very specific example from one of our authors. One of our authors came to me and she said, now more than ever, I feel like moms need to focus on self-care. They have to put the oxygen mask over their own nose and mouth first. They need to put themselves on their own priority list. It's a big generic topic, self-care for moms. It's really hard to find a market for that topic unless you're running billboards in Times Square, which most of us, let's face it, don't have the marketing budget for that. So what we focused on with her instead were moms of special needs kids who wanted to start a business because they needed to stay home with their kids. Wow, we just took this generic idea of self-care for moms and we're focusing now on moms of special needs kids who are starting a business. Now, self-care is still an important part of her message, but by focusing on mothers of special needs kids, suddenly we know what to write and, more importantly, how to get that book into people's hands. Why? Because moms of special needs kids have groups that they're members of, social media sites they participate in, organizations that they are connected to that we can partner with. It's now easy to get that book into people's hands. When you're writing generically, you're going to write a much bigger book trying to fit it into a bunch of slots. But you can write a smaller book, and smaller books sell better now. People have shorter attention spans. The average nonfiction book used to be 120,000 words 20 years ago. It's now 30,000 words. A smaller, more concise book that is specific rather than general is going to find its audience 10 times faster. Don't make the mistake of writing a generic book just because those were the books that we read growing up. All right, oldies? Okay, boomer. Let's fix this one. Mistake number 4 I want to share has to do with your brain and how your brain works. Most people naturally want to write their book and edit as they go. They want to write a chapter, write a paragraph, read the paragraph, edit the paragraph, write another paragraph, read that, edit that paragraph, go back, read the first paragraph, re-edit those first 2 paragraphs. And they edit so much, they never finish their manuscript. I want to tell you the secret to how our authors get their books written in just 24 to 48 hours consistently. We've had hundreds of authors, close to thousands of authors, over 1,000 authors who have written their book in just 24 to 48 hours. And here's the secret, and here's how your brain works. When you're writing, you're in, ideally, a flow state. You're more focused on the right side of your brain. You're creative. Ideas are coming. You're typing. And if you're not sure what this feels like, I have an example that I like to share, which is if you were writing your best friend a birthday card and you were telling your best friend how much you love her and how much she means to you, and how that would just come out of your fingertips, how easy it would be to write that message because it's coming from this place of love. That is much more right brain, feminine, artistic, in that state of flow. When you're editing, you're in that school brain, that left side of your brain, that logical, that analytical part of your brain. You're looking at it, you're saying, does that make sense? Is that very good? I don't know. You're judging, you're critiquing. These are all wonderful parts of your brain that we want to keep. But when we cross pattern, and this is one of the things they'll do with geriatric patients, they'll have them do cross patterning exercises. When we cross pattern between your left and right hemisphere of your brain, we actually slow down or clamp your creative side. And at the same time, you're not very good at editing. By going back and forth and switch tasking or cross patterning, you're not very good at editing and not very good at writing. So the biggest mistake that I see authors make when it comes to writing is that they're editing as they go. You want to hack into your flow by writing your book all the way through. The mantra that we use with our authors here at the Author Incubator is keep writing forward. When you get to the end of your book, there will be plenty of time to edit. But for now, keep writing forward. I'm going to take another quick break, but when we get back, I have 2 more mistakes to share with you, and you won't want to miss these because these are the ones that will cost you money. So if you want to make the maximum amount from your book, join me on the other side of this break, and I'll share the last 2 mistakes that authors make that cost them revenue, clients, and future readers. All right, this is for the people who love money. I got 2 more mistakes to share with you, and these are the ones that cost people cash. So right now, more than ever, it's so important to protect your clients and protect revenue opportunities. So these are the 2 most expensive mistakes authors make. Mistake number 5. Most people write their book and then market it. It's the home alone mistake. You do not want to be caught home alone with your book. We have to start making money from your book, ideally before you even put a word on the page. What? How do you do that? Well, the key is to start selling before you write. You'll remember that with mistake number 2, I shared with you people often ask the wrong people for advice. You know what's better than advice? Cash. Get it. The way you do that is by simply sharing, I'm thinking of writing a book about whatever your book is about. And then what you do is you offer them the opportunity to get something for free on that topic. So it would go like this. I'm thinking about writing a book on how to make $10,000 from your book. I want to test this out by doing a quick webinar. If you'd be interested in participating in a class on how to make $10,000 from your book, let me know. Then you'll actually run that class, that webinar, you'll teach that topic, and at the end of it, you can invite people to actually study with you, either as a consultant, a coaching client, or maybe just get on the phone with you for some of the products and services you offer now. If you use the same book title and hooks that you're thinking of using in your book, offer something for free, get leads, and then sell them something, you can actually use your book to start making money before you write a word. Then, as you write each chapter, you can share that chapter and the problem that chapter solves and get more clients. I'll tell you a fun story of how I did this once. When I took a cruise down the Danube River from Vienna to Belgrade. On the cruise, there were 7 days and 7 stops. At each stop along the cruise, I wrote another step in my make 'em beg to publish your book process. And with each step, I shared what stop I was in, Budapest at a paprika farm, testing paprika spices, and I shared what that chapter was about. Maybe that chapter was about how to get an agent for your book. And I said, hey, while I'm at the paprika farm, if you're interested in getting an agent, send me a message and I'll send you this chapter early. Every day I would go off on this cruise, see another thing. And when I would come home from whatever that day's activity was, I'd have a drink and look at all the leads I'd gotten that day. Sure enough, every day on that cruise, I got a new client. And in 7 days, I took a cruise and made $45,000 from a book that I hadn't even written yet. So make money from your book by marketing it before you write it and while you're writing it. That's mistake number 5. And my last and final mistake that I want to share with you is mistake number 6. This one's a buzzkill. I'm sorry, you're not going to make money from book sales. It used to work that way. But really, unless you're Michelle Obama, you just got to give up that dream. The way that you will make money from your book is by using the book to get leads for other products and services you offer. So start first by identifying one product or service that you want to sell from this one book. Most people try and write a big book on every topic because they want to make money from book sales. Not going to happen. No way, no how. That's not what's working now. What's working now is having one aspect of your business you want to promote with a book, and then write a book just to promote that particular service. Fill the book with case studies and lessons and experience. Give everything away. This is what's going to make people want to work with you. And this is how people make money from a book now. I'm going to tell you one of the inside circle secrets that I only share with my authors, but now I'm going to share it with you. Each and every dollar you make from book sales, and when you write a book, you will make some money from book sales, should be spent on the very important task of buying shoes. Ask any of my authors and they will tell you the purpose of money from book sales is to buy shoes. If you remember that rule, then when you get money from your book, you'll be so excited to go shoe shopping. But if you're thinking it's going to fund your business, pay your mortgage, get you set up for your retirement, you are likely to be sadly mistaken. But if you think of book sales money as shoe money, you're going to be happy like all of my authors are. So that's it, folks. The 6 biggest mistakes I see people making right now, people who are coaches, healers, business owners, people transitioning from an in-person business to an online business, people who already have an online business. I see people out there making these mistakes and they are costing people time and money now. And I wanted to reboot Page Up Podcast to make sure you don't make these mistakes too. In season 2 of Page Up Podcast, we're going to be talking about what's working now. I'm going to introduce you to some of my most successful 6- and 7-figure authors. I'm so proud of them, the money they're making, the change they're making in the world, and the way that they are thriving in the new normal. You'll meet some of our authors, most of them, by the way, women who are out there crushing it and making the world a better place at the same time. I'm also gonna dig up from the archive some of my most potent teaching. This is stuff I've always reserved to teach live, and I'm making it available on this podcast because I believe right now we need to help each other more than ever to keep our businesses safe, keep our clients safe, to grow our businesses through all the chaos and turmoil that's out there. We might not be able to control the world, but we can control the difference we are making in it. And that's why at Page Up Podcast, our focus is changing the world one book at a time. Ready to build your business with a book? Check out my free class at pageuppodcast.com.